True Memoirs of an International Assassin, a new Kevin James comedy on Netflix starring this man, a big Lakers/Dolphins guy. He is Andy Garcia right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Good to see you, Andy.
Thanks for having me.
So you were at the Lakers game last night, right?
Yeah, I was there last night.
Oh, no, let's get into this. Let's get right into this. What happened? Did you and a ref...
Well,
what went down here?
You know, there was a deflection right in front of me. I've been fortunate to have these seats that I've sort of like worked my way down from the rafters over the years.
Yes.
So I'm like 4 rows up from the court, you know, up and on the aisle. And there was a deflection that went from Clarkson to Harrison Barnes and out of bounds. But Harrison touched it and kind of said, oh, here it is. Boom. Boom. Oh, touched
it went off
there.
him. But they said it was
right,
Maverick's ball.
And that's me there screaming at the ref there. And then he overturns it. Yeah, we got him. So I went up to him. I started screaming. I said, no.
You waved like the Matumbo finger at him.
Yeah, no. And then he turned to the other ref and he overturned the call. So I'm sure I had no influence over it. But.
So you were, well, I'll say you're a factor. So is that the type of fan you're just like, you're locked in? You're jumping out of your seat?
Well, you know, I was there with our mutual friend Jay Stefan, so I had to represent. You know, you have to raise yourself to the insanity of. No, but you know, if you're a fan and if you have access to the aisle, sometimes certain things motivate you to jump. You know.
Right, and so you just jumped into it.
I just jumped in.
So, what do you think of this Lakers team, Andy?
They're fun to watch. I think we have. Obviously, they're athletic, they're talented, they're young. Luke's got to move him with the ball and without the ball. They're playing defense. They have 2 solid teams. You know, they have a strong bench. They have some, you know, leadership, older guys in there. But I think Luke is doing a great job with them. And the team's moving. The ball's moving, you know, and they want to make a difference. They want to make a statement, you know, and that's fun to watch, you know.
Andy Garcia here on the Rich Eisen Show. So you're a Dolphin fan from where you grew up, essentially,
Since
right?
the opening day when Joe Howard took the opening kickoff in the Orange Bowl for a touchdown.
You were there?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. So we used to sneak into the stadium, tipping, you know, one of the guys who would take your you know, in those days there was no electronics thing. It's just a guy and you show him a ticket and you go through the turnstile.
Yeah, they're not zapping your ticket that you have around your neck in a special plastic case.
We'd just go like that. You know, we were little kids. We'd give them $5 at us and we'd roam around the stadium, you know.
So what's your favorite memory of growing up watching games for the Dolphins?
Wow. Well, you know, I was there for the 72 undefeated season, you know, and obviously I was there for the Marino years. So there's a lot of them, you know. There was that great game. Obviously, the 72 season goes without question, but there was that great playoff game against San Diego with Kevin Winslow. That was an extraordinary football game.
Yeah, where they had to take him off the field.
Yeah, that was incredible. And watching Marino and Duper and Clayton, you know, throw the ball around us, that was.
Did you ever meet Marino? Did you ever?
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing about the Orange Bowl was, and it's no longer there. It was a steel stadium, and it was a horseshoe. So when you got into the closed end, and people started to, it was like a huge drum, and you could not snap the ball. There was no way, and so there was a real home field advantage. Once they decided to build a stadium in the middle of the Everglades out of concrete, you know, I think we've lost that edge.
Well, I don't know if you've been to the renovated version yet.
Not
I haven't yet, but I've
Not
heard
yet.
they've done really good things.
It's a beautiful stadium, but you lose the edge. You know, those old stadiums when you're right on top of the people. And
well, I mean, I remember being at a game at the old RFK Stadium.
Right.
I was at a Cowboys-Redskins game, the old RFK Stadium.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine brought me to the game on his longtime family season tickets, 2 rows from the edge of the upper deck.
Right.
Okay. And you had to lean over to see if a touchdown was scored because it was over the field of play, essentially.
Yeah,
and it was so loud, you'd feel it shake.
Exactly.
And then I went to the new stadium, 2 rows from the front of the upper deck. It's like sitting in Delaware.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
The same thing happened with that stadium. They built it as a hybrid stadium for soccer and football and baseball and all that. So the side, you were too separated. Now in this renovation, they've added, I think, some seats and got a little bit closer to the. In the Orange Bowl, you were right where the players were. You know, you were literally, the players were right in front of you in the front row. You know.
Andy Garcia here on the Rich Eisen Show. So, are you a Tannehill guy?
I like him. You know, the secret of while we're playing better now is the offensive line. You know, you have a healthy offensive line, and without that, you can't play football. You can't open a hole. You can't protect the quarterback.
Well, Jay Ajayi's running crazy.
But because they're opening holes for him, you know. So.
But you believe in Ryan Tannehill? Andy Garcia believes in.
Yes, I do. I do.
You're in the minority, I think, on that front.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but I think the coach Adam Case is keeping him mobile, and I think when he's mobile back there and he's moving around, he's quite dangerous. He's got a good arm. Marino thinks he's got a great arm. So.
And Jarvis Landry acts like he's always has access to the aisle, sort of like.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that. He
takes it to people, no doubt about it. When he gets the ball, that extra 6 inches he wants, which is you gotta love a guy like that, you know.
Andy Garcia here on the Rich Eisen Show. Would you say The Godfather Part III is underrated or rated right where it could possibly be with two films of Godfather Part 1 and 2
I think
in front of it?
It's a compliment to the other two. You know, you're talking about two of the greatest movies ever made, if not the two greatest movies I've ever made.
So were you ever concerned about what could possibly be done here that needs to be done here?
No, I was in a privileged situation to be working with Francis Ford Coppola in that trilogy, which was a movie. The Godfather 1 was, I would say, the main motivating factor that made me focus on saying that's what I want to do with my life, and the fact that I ended up in one of those movies, you know,
with Pacino.
Yeah, I mean, it's so no, I was, you know, it was a blessing, a privilege, and I have only the fondest memories about it.
And so, the Untouchables being in that one. Now, were you? The story goes that you were being cast for a different character than the one that you played.
I was
in that?
approached to play or to consider playing Frank Nitti, who was the killer in the Al Capone's hitman, the guy dressed in white,
who gets thrown off the roof of the building eventually.
And when I read
spoiler alert,
right, exactly, for the three people who haven't seen the film.
That's right, exactly.
But I read the script and I was attracted to the part that I ended up playing, which was the young Italian kid in The Untouchables. You know.
George Stone.
George Stone. And obviously I wanted to work with Connery. That was one of my childhood heroes. So I lobbied immediately to say, no, I had to kind of be firm and say, I don't want to play that part. I want to play the other part, and kind of roll the dice. And eventually I met with Brian, and then I auditioned for George Stone, and they gave me the part.
And what was it like with Connery?
It was the best. Pretty, you know, the dynamics that were in the movie, it kind of was the dynamics of, you know, we became all of us very close, but the dynamic kind of stayed the same.
How so?
In the sense that, you know, he was the older wise guy, and he would always be jabbing at all of us.
You and Costner
and Charlie Martin Smith, and it was my job as my character to kind of fight back, so respectfully, but keep the jabs going. So that was kind of the dynamics. I love Sean Connery. I'll tell you a quick story,
please,
because I've told this before, but it's very funny.
Please.
We were doing a scene where I'm answering a phone, and he was off camera because he was supposed to be on the phone. So I had to walk over there to answer the phone. He was dressed in his golf gear, ready to go play golf, you know. Sometimes he'd do his close-ups, you know, from here up he was Malone, and from here down he had golf shoes on, you know. And so I went over there and I answered the phone once, and De Palma said, no, let's cut, you know, we didn't see your face. I said, but the phone's over there and I'm over here. Why would I turn back? Please, I want to see your face. So I do it again. And this went on a couple takes. And as I was coming back to do like the third take, Sean Connery said to me, come on, kid, this is not Hamlet. So I looked at him, I said, okay. So then I went one more time, and I finally got it, kind of struggled to turn my face around. It was totally a natural thing to do, you know. And the director again said, cut. And he said, Andy, Brian says, we only saw one eye. And Sean says, you saw two eyes, they're just very close together.
And then he went to go play golf.
Yeah.
Because he had a tee time.
Enough of that.
Enough of that. Yeah, I mean, he's played in one of the most iconic, old school golf scenes in film history with Goldfinger. He played, you know, a very important golf round with Goldfinger. He was a joy. I truly love that. Did you play golf with him? Because I know you're an avid golfer. I've never played golf with him.
Never. No, never got a chance to play.
Huh? How often was De Niro around that set?
He came in and did his thing and left. So he was there maybe like a week, I think, if I remember correctly. His work was done all together, yeah.
Right, the baseball bat scene.
The baseball, the courthouse, a couple scenes coming out of the courthouse. forget
Nothing
whatever
but
it was. It was like a concentrated. He came in, did his thing, and left.
Nothing but a lot of talk and a badge.
Yeah,
I love that.
Well, you know,
line
the
is
beauty of that
incredible.
script, which if you look at it structurally, it's a throwback to the Magnificent Seven and the Seven Samurai. It's a genre that's been used, a formula, which is one guy recruits a bunch of guys to go out and you know, right the wrong kind of
Sure.
thing. The Dirty Dozen, and you know, but they're all really patterned after, I think, the Seven Samurai. And the David Mamet script, which was a beautifully constructed narrative and storytelling, was really had no holes, that script, you know, and that's what made, I think, that movie, aside from Brian's, you know, in the design of the film, visually, the script was so solid in its narrative.
Right, the Odessa Steps type moment with the baby carriage in the
That was all
in the
Brian,
train
because originally I
station.
think it was going to be on a train somewhere, and they had problems with that, and then Brian said, well, I want to do an homage to the Odessa Steps, and we went into the Chicago train station.
Sure.
And did that whole thing, and it kind of started evolving, you know, as it got to that point where the carriage was finally and I remember Brian called me in and said, and the stunt guy goes, "What would you do? We want you to come in here and try to save the carriage at the last minute, but toss one of the guns to Kevin, one of your guns, because he's out of guns and bullets. What would you do?" And I used to play baseball as a kid, you know, so I kind of looked at it, and there was a marble floor. And I said, in my mind, I said, oh, it's a little hook slide into second base under the carriage. It was not a big deal, you know. I'd done it a million times. So I said, I'll do a hook slide. And, you know, they kind of went, oh, let's see it. So I went, I did it and caught the carriage. The stuntman had the carriage like 2 steps. I kind of did it. And Brian looked at it and he said, oh, let's do that. And that's what's in the movie.
Incredible. That's so great. Andy Garcia here on the Rich Eisen Show. Now you're with The Rock and Ballers. Looks like you're having a blast doing that.
He's a tremendous guy, very generous, very grounded, really a terrific actor, you know. I was impressed by his acting chops, but I was also, I guess, impressed by his decency and his class. He's a really classy guy.
And the word I hear from people about who work with him is like professionalism.
Fantastic.
Like a total pro.
He's a great guy. I had a great experience, you know. He understood that I had to give him, you know, hell every day because I was just sort of his nemesis, and he was, you know, he was there taking it and dealing with it, which is what he needs to do. You know, he has to constantly be up against obstacles. That's what we love about his character. We're rooting for him, but he loses every battle, you know, but he keeps going, you know.
And are you basing your character on any particular agent that we've seen out there, Andy? Anybody out there?
No, not really. Just personality types, you know.
Has Rosenhaus been to the set? Has he been to the set?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, just checking. No.
No.
Just knocking on that
No,
door.
you know, it's those. They're, you know, personality types, you know, that you run into through life in all kinds of professions and stuff. People who are sort of, you know, full of themselves and confident. You know.
Who's the best acting athlete you've been around? That's been in anything that you've been in, whether it's Ballers or anything that you've ever been.
I would say Dwayne. Yeah.
He would be that guy.
Yeah.
How about any of the NFL players that have been around? Have you been in any scenes with those guys? Has Terrell Suggs been around?
I did a couple of scenes with him. He was very cool, very natural. You know?
He wants to be he wants to be a movie producer. Did he didn't buttonhole you for that sort of thing?
No,
okay.
no.
Right. I guess he was pulling back.
But he's you never know what somebody's thinking when they're looking at you. You know? But he was a joy. We had a couple things to do together at the beginning of the season. It was a lot of fun. You know, I work with great actors in my little niche of that show. There was Richard Schiff and Robert Corddry and Dwayne and myself. So I was in great company.
And then lastly, you're with Kevin James now in True Memoirs of an International Assassin. You're a big Dolphin fan. He's a diehard Jet.
I know.
Has there been any sort of conversation on that front?
No, I don't remember any. I just saw him. We had the premiere in New York, and we had just played the Jets.
Just last week?
Yeah, so we... no, we didn't talk about it.
Okay, yeah.
No, we didn't talk about it.
But it seems like a fun movie here that you got going on here.
I think it's very funny.
On Friday.
It's very funny. You
Fantastic.
know, like I said, Kevin is he's a sublime comedian. It's easy to have fun with him.
That's great. Well, Andy, thanks for coming here.
Thank you, man.
Please,
Thanks
you don't
for
have
having
anything.
me.
If you don't come when you don't have anything to promote, just love to kick back with you, right here on the show.
I'll bring the gang.
Bring the gang, and we'll just make sure you got a seat on the aisle.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.